This segment of DelmarvaLife is brought to you by the YMCA of the Chesapeake.
It's hot. It's like miserable hot. It's like get in the pool and never get out hot. And you, maybe like with many families on Delmarva, are doing exactly that.
And when the kids are in the pool, I'm sure you're very careful to make sure they stay safe, because drowning is a very real possibility. And it's something that happens far too often. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, about 10 people die every day from unintentional drowning. The CDC reports about 1 in 5 people who drown are children 14 or younger. But it's children ages 1 to 4 who have the highest drowning rates. And most of them are boys, as nearly 80% of people who die from drowning are male. You hope you'd be able to recognize if someone was in trouble in the water, right? Well, sometimes you can tell, but other times drowning is very silent.
Did you know that there is also a drowning danger that is outside of the water? It's called dry drowning. And the danger is there even hours after leaving the water. A perfect way to cool down during these summer scorchers.
Yeah, like today.
That's where we found Ashley Polanco and her 3-year-old daughter, Aaliyah.
You're teaching them along the way not to open your mouth when you're underwater.
Doctors warn parents, keep an eye on your child, especially infants, if they've inhaled too much water.
And this isn't just a little bit of, I swallow a little bit of water in the pool and I'm totally fine. This occurs after a significant submerge event where the person inhales a fair amount of water.
Dr. Robert DeLorenzo says symptoms of secondary drowning tend to surface 4 to 6 hours later.
Cough, shortness of breath, chest pain, perhaps extreme fatigue. It's not just children. All ages can be affected by this near drowning.
I always keep an eye on them because it can happen so fast.
Now, just to let you know, death is not the only possible result from dry drowning. Experts say it can also lead to brain injury or respiratory problems.
Well, the scary thing is, Jimmy, a child can look and act fine yet still suffer from dry drowning. There's story after story about kids who seem fine when they go to bed but never wake up.
Yeah, as with most health concerns, knowledge is key. So let's take a closer look at how dry drowning happens, ways to recognize it, and what you can do to prevent it. First, the how. Medical experts say dry drowning is basically when someone accidentally inhales water. Dr. Louis Maharam tells CBS just a few teaspoons of water going down the wrong way into the lungs can lead to dry drowning. The lungs get irritated. They start to secrete fluid. As a result, Dr. Maharam says children can drown in their own body's fluid. Now, we're not just talking about the pool. We're not just talking about the beach here. It can even happen in the bathtub.
So what do you need to look for? Well, we already touched on a couple of the symptoms, but here are more. The American Academy of Pediatrics say if your child needs to be rescued in the water, they need to be checked out. Also, coughing may be a sign of trouble, breathing problems, sleepiness, a change in behavior, and throwing up may all indicate dry or secondary drowning. Experts say if you notice these signs, it's best to get to the emergency room. Don't wait to see a pediatrician.
Now, you can also be proactive in preventing dry drowning, or any type of drowning for that matter, especially when you consider that drowning is the second leading cause of death for children ages 1 to 19.
So what can you do? Experts say one of the best things, teach your children how to swim. Joining us today to tell us more is Missy Denault, aquatic specialist with the YMCA of the Chesapeake. Missy, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, we talk about the riskiest places to be where our children can drown, of course, the ocean, swimming pools, but there's danger everywhere. There's water, even these little blow-up pools.
Exactly. Children can drown in as little as 1 inch of water. So the blow-up pools, any of the backyard pools, any of those inflatables, bathtub, we want to make sure they're secure, and we're watching our children anytime they're in and around the water.
It does take a lot. Okay, so let's talk about when to teach our kids how to swim. The American Academy of Pediatrics has updated its guidance on water safety. Basically, the Academy recommends parents make the decision on when to give their child swimming lessons based on the child's frequency of exposure to water, emotional development, physical abilities, and certain health concerns related to exposure to pool water. Okay. So what's your take on this whole exposure to pool water? Is it ever too early to try to teach our kids to swim?
I don't think so. I think the kids should start as early. We start at the YMCA as early as 6 months. So, you know, parent-taught classes up to 3 years old. So it's a great time to interact with your child and also teach them some skills. And then we continue on teaching the kids all the way up to actually adults.
And they probably get used to the water then when they're young. What about the kids who are afraid of the water?
Well, at the YMCA, we make sure we teach each kid or independently. So a child that's afraid of the water, when they first come in, we're going to make sure we gently ease them into the water and make them comfortable. And as they get more comfortable in the water, they're going to learn the skills and they're going to progress as the other kids are progressing in the swim class.
Okay, so let me flip this question around then. There are a lot of adults that drown. Is it ever too late to learn to swim?
No, I think at the YMCA we've taught adults, you know, early 20s all the way up to 70s, 80s. Somebody all of a sudden decided late in life, I really want to learn how to swim. Everyone should know how to swim. We have so many great things on the shore that we can do, and everyone should have that chance.
All right, so I learned how to swim when I was young, but haven't done a whole lot of swimming in the meantime. Is it like riding a bike? Do you ever forget how to swim?
Your skills can deteriorate. So, you know, I suggest you swim year-round, especially with the young ones as they're swimming. They should take swimming lessons all the way around through the year, and they're going to see such a growth and development in their skill level. And same with adults. Getting in the water a couple times a week, the skills will be maintained.
Okay, so you mentioned that you teach them as early as 6 months. What do you teach a 6-month-old child when it comes to swimming?
It's, you know, with the little ones, we're doing water adjustment. They're learning how to blow bubbles. You'll see their feet instantly kick because they're loving the water and they're comfortable. And as they get a little bit older, you know, 12 months old to 18 months, they're actually learning some skills.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What about these kids here we're seeing here?
Oh, I think that's our 4th grade water safety program. So,
Yeah.
you know, so at the Salisbury Y, and I think at Lower Shore YMCA and also in Easton, we teach the kids boating skills. We teach them how to use the PFDs. We teach them swimming skills.
Yeah.
Okay, we see somebody we think is in trouble, maybe drowning. What do we do?
Reach, throw, don't go. We teach the kids that. We tell them, and actually adults too, is we don't want to get into the water. We don't want to get into a position that we can't save ourselves. Even if I'm a strong swimmer and I go in the water, a child or an adult are afraid of the water, they're going to pull me under. So the best way to do is teach them, we're going to reach out an arm or a towel or a stick or a noodle or a kickboard. Yep. Or we're going to throw out a ring buoy or a noodle or kickboard, anything that can help them get to the side of the pool.
But don't go.
Exactly.
Don't go. Yeah, because no matter how advanced a swimmer you are, you can still drown. And that's why parents need to pay close attention to their children, right?
Yeah, at all times. You know, anytime, even though sometimes we get comfortable, we think, oh, my child knows how to swim. Something can happen quickly. The child could get a cramp or the child could just panic. And so you always want to be watching your child in and around the water.
Wow, good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
And to read more from the YMCA about swimming programs, go to WBOC.com. Click on our picture at the top of the page. Well, drowning isn't the only danger in the water. Did you ever think that something as simple as having fun with the waves could cause harm? DelmarvaLife's Sean Stryker has more on what's called surf zone injuries. Sean, this has nothing to do with surfing.
Well, the surf zone is where the waves actually break on the beach. So we're talking swimmers, bodyboarders, even people just wading in the water, and local doctors realized these injuries were coming in clusters. So coming up, we're going to take a look at some of the numbers of that study and talk to local beach patrol on how to keep yourself safe.
And just like swimming and summer go together, throw this in there too. How about a little ice cream? A little bit later on, we're in the DelmarvaLife kitchen making the classic ice cream float.
Oh, Jimmy, you're jumping ahead with dessert before dinner. We need our protein too, so we're also making a barbecue chicken pizza.
I'm focused on anyway, but first we're talking about staying safe in the water. Maybe you're planning a vacation to have fun in the sun. Dr. Oz has some travel tips.
Hi, I'm Dr. Oz. Headed on vacation soon? Well, remember these tips when you're on the plane. Sitting for long periods can increase your risk of blood clots. To prevent them, get up and walk around the cabin every 2 hours. You can also circle your feet when seated to keep the blood flowing. And stay hydrated with water, not caffeine or alcoholic drinks.